friends, this is a product demonstration for dia 85 mm high precision micro boring head. High precision being the least count is 0.02, with the vernier scale we go to 0.002. That is, it will give an adjustment of 0.004, that is 4 micron on the dia. You can see the vernier scale is this, and the adjustment, the information for that we have given here. So talking about the boring head, it's a dia 85 mm boring head which has got a lot of grub screws to hold the tool. Okay, so there are 3 grub screws. It takes M6 screws. It will actually lock the slide and the head portion. And these grub screws, these are M8 grub screws. They're a total of 6 grub screws which will basically lock the tool. The first thing we want to learn is what is a boring head about. So this is a dia 85 mm. It takes a boring tool of dia 20. It has got a central hole which is of dia 20, as well as an offset hole which is dia 20. So any boring bar which has got a size less than 20 mm will actually go inside and fit properly. There is a flat here where basically you lock the grub screws. So you put the tool this way. There is a stopper at the end that the tool will not go completely inside. You take a 4 mm Allen key and you tighten the tool. So that is one tightening. Then you basically tighten. So now you can see the tool is basically tightened here properly. Now if you look at the entry dia for the tool, let me just tilt the boring head. We have actually clamped it with a BT50. This is for a specific user. We thought to make a video based on this. It says the entry dia is somewhere around 14.4. If you clamp in the insert, the tool takes an insert of TPGX09. The radius is your choice, 0.2 or 0.4. Entry dia should come somewhere between 15.2 to 15.5. We're just giving it a go without the insert so that our client can basically understand how to use the boring head. So for the adjustment, let me just remove the tool for now. Okay, the tool is removed. Now what do we see here is there are 3 inserts and there is a jib here. So there are 3 grub screws of M6 and there is a jib here. Now this is a dovetail arrangement. So what you need to do is, when you tighten these screws, the jib will basically lock onto the dovetail arrangement, and your slide, this top portion is called the slide, this bottom portion is called the head. This will basically lock. This, you do this after setting the size. The first thing you want to do is, you take a 3 mm Allen key. By the way, all the accessories are supplied with the kit. It's basically very tightened. You loosen the grub screw, then you loosen the second grub screw, then you loosen the third grub screw. Now on the other end of the boring head, there is another grub screw which is also M6. This is basically just for the oiling purposes. What we need to do is here, we need to just highlight to the client that you don't need to tighten this grub screw. This is just for lubrication of the dovetail portion from this end. You remove the grub screw, you put in some oil, then you put the grub screw again. Let me just quickly put it in. Once again, the grub screw which is single here, it's just for the lubrication purposes. You don't need to touch it unless and until you want to lubricate the unit. And when you're locking the boring tools, you lock 1, 2 and 3, 4 basically when you put using the central hole. So the tool is basically locked from 2 sides but with 4 grub screws. Now let's check what the unit looks like. So you take a smaller Allen key, and if you look at the divisions here, you want to increase the divisions to increase the size. see the divisions are 30, 40, basically 10 to 50. So when you go from 30 to 40, the slide will come out and your board size will basically increase. Now look here, you have it's matching somewhere around 29. So if you want to increase the size, so you've gone from 30 to 40 here. Once you've done that, you basically tighten the grub screw to the maximum extent possible. First the central one, then you go for the first grub screw. You do it simultaneously, that will make more sense, so that it will give you an optimum pressure, equal pressure on all the edges. Now let's see if we have any backlash here or not. You put in the Allen key, then you move the screw. You see there is no backlash, absolutely. The division is still 40 and it's matching 0.5. Now what you want to do is, you want to go for another setting. You loosen the grub screws again. There you go. There you go. There you go. Again you use the Allen key. You increase the size from basically 40 to 50 where the slide is coming out. It's pretty moving pretty easily. So say you match it to 0, for example. We're not setting a size, we're just checking if there is a backlash on this or not. You can see the slide has basically come out. So actually we've loosened it to a greater extent so that the movement is easy. So once it's tightened, then you give another torque. Okay, there you go. 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 It's completely tightened. You want to give it a try again if there is any backlash. So it's 0, 0 here. It's marking 0. If you move the screw, there is basically no backlash. One thing to be noted is with use there is tend to be some backlash, because if there is no backlash the machine as such will never work. So even if you face any backlash here later on while using, you can always give your size by adjusting the backlash. For example, if there was some backlash of point say 0.2, 2 divisions, so you just do a calculation. If you want to move 10 divisions, you do the backlash calculation of 0.02, that is 2 divisions, then you move 10 divisions. So instead of moving 10 divisions, you'll basically move 12 divisions to adjust your size. That is the way how you can actually work with this boring head for the next, in general for maybe another 10 years or so. Again, it's a completely hardened and ground unit, so you shouldn't face any problem. So the boring head is supplied from the factory where the grub screws are basically not too tightened. Okay, that was a complete demo of the unit. So again, there is a complete set of tools we send with this boring head.